I see a song of past romance. I see the sacrifice of man. I see portrayals of betrayal and a brother's final stand. I see you on the brink of death. I see you draw your final breath. I see a man who gets to make it home alive, but it's no longer you. Today is July 23rd, 2026. The Mercury retrograde ends today. And we are on day 15 of our journey through Musashi's Dakota. Today's principle is believe in yourself, not in superstitions. And I think that this principle really has to do with this constant war between fate and the effort that you put in. I had written something a long time ago that said, I am in an endless war of attrition between what I want and what time wants for me. And in a lot of ways, I feel like that war of attrition has been holding me back. You know, just thinking like, all right, well, I really want this, but what if time doesn't want it for me? Because time never like is on my side. Like, I'm always running out of time. I'm always doing this. And what's interesting is yesterday I absolutely shattered. I call it ego death. I call it the realization that I was still stuck in that place that happened in 2021. So we're talking a solid 5 years ago that event had happened, and I have been stuck in that place subconsciously for the last 5 years. And it's definitely affected my relationships going forward. It's affected my entire life going forward. You know, every time I do something that I truly wanted to do, I would be brought back to that place. I'd be brought back to that wound, and I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. So now moving forward, we're being more mindful. We are attempting to let go of the past. We're not even attempting. Like, we are letting go of the past. Like, the shit's behind me now. It's behind me. It's not real anymore. It doesn't have to control my present. You know, and harder one for me is I'm trying not to look into the future. You know, I'm trying not to look into the future and be like, well, man, if you really want to get that by like that time, you're gonna have to start doing the work now. It's like, damn, I'd like to have kids in maybe the next 2 years of my life, you know, God willing and stuff like that. If I'm able, if I'm fortunate enough to be blessed with children, I would like that in the next 2 years or so. Maybe it doesn't happen for the next 3. Maybe it doesn't happen, you know, for a while. Maybe it never happens. I don't know. And I'm learning to be okay with that, with being okay with the uncertainty of the future. You know, I came from a place where the future was so uncertain, but that made the present so scary that you have to look forward to the future because the present was so bad. I was like, all right, well, in the future, I'm gonna be able to just write and not be around people and all this stuff. And that was a dream of a sad, lonely, depressed, suicidal, bullied little kid. That's what it was. That was the dream. The dream was to eventually be off on my own, not have to be around anyone, not have to talk to anyone, and just do my writing. I make a living off of writing, and that's it. And I think now as of recently, like the dream has changed, but I hadn't accepted that. And now I believe that I've accepted it after, yesterday's shattering. Like if I really am going through a metamorphosis and I've been a caterpillar for the last 13 days, right? On day 13, I had reached a breaking point. Like everything in my being, like I was in that tunnel. I'm holding on to hope. Hope is lighting excuse me, hope is lighting this path, and I'm still reminded of all the darkness that's around me. And then, you get to a point in the tunnel where it's a literal breaking point. It's like, wait, this is fractured. Like this is fractured. I think a better analogy is one that someone that truly loves me so deeply and everything, she had told me. She said, your mind, because she knows me better than fucking anyone, she said that your mind is a labyrinth with no exits and only windows to see the outside. Like the windows are there just to like give you hope that one day you're gonna get out of this labyrinth. And on day 13, at that breaking point day, like I called it the tunnel, but I think the labyrinth was more accurate. I think I found a wall that was loose, like it had cracks in it. I found that wall. And then day 14, yesterday, day 14 happened, and I fucking shattered completely. Like I'm bawling my eyes out, even if my eyes don't let me cry. I was having panic attacks. I was really going through a very painful emotional breakdown completely. And the interesting thing about that is now I feel better. I've noticed a few things have changed. I've noticed that, for example, Lust and I do not see eye to eye. The thing that's really, we're going to talk about lust for a second here, right? Because remember, the principle is about believing in yourself and not in superstitions, right? So in terms of believing in myself, we'll get there. But me and Lust have been in this dance because of my desire or my need to feel wanted. It's not necessarily a thing of, oh, you just need validation that you're attractive. You just need like sexual validation, sexual gratification, nothing like that. It was never like that for me. It was, which is surprising because I've been through two sexual assaults, and they were at such a young age that at one time there was a time where I was like, well, if I'm not sexually like gratifying to somebody, then I'm really not worth anything, and that's a really dark place to be in. But I've grown from that over the years. And then my lust came in the form of like pornography, right? But watching pornography did nothing for me. It was more of, I'm bored, I don't know what to do right now, I can put this on, I can give into like my bodily desires, my bodily autonomy, and I'll get the job done, but I don't feel anything about it, right? There's no love there, there's no passion, there's nothing there. It's purely just like this physical, I'm here to kill some time because I can't sleep kind of thing. And I got to that point yesterday, like after the shattering. I got to that point like really late at night. I want to say probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I got to that point again. Then I went on my phone and I was looking and all that stuff, and even my body didn't react. Like my body didn't react, which was new. I was like, okay, well, that's fine, because like I really didn't get anything out of this. So the fact that my body isn't reacting at this point is like, okay, we are making progress, like in this department, like we're making progress here. as well as after the shattering, I really got to take a really deep look at myself internally. I really got to look into myself and see, you know, what could be better, what could be fixed. And a lot of it comes down to like anxious attachment, right? Which ultimately boiled down to Olive Garden. Again, last video. I know we're recapping a little bit, so I apologize for that, but I think it's important for today. Because today, after the shattering, I feel like I'm clearing out the rubble. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm clearing out the rubble in order for me to get through. I don't really know what I look like yet. You know, I'm not sure if I'm a beautiful butterfly yet. But I'm clearing out all of the rubble that I've been trapped under because I just broke out of the labyrinth. You know, I think that's kind of where I'm at. And so when it comes to believing in yourself and not in superstitions, I think it derives, or it really comes from this fight between fate and the effort that you put in. Because you can put in all the effort in the world, but if it's not fated, like if it's not in your cards, it might not show up. Like you might not get the thing that you want, even though you're putting in all the effort, you're doing all the changing, you're doing these things, and you still might not be chosen. You still might not get the job. You still might not, you still might have those days where you just don't love yourself, you know? And I think something that's important from this passage about it, I think something that's important is, it says here, true courage springs from understanding your capabilities and shortcomings, not cryptic signs. You know? Even now, many still consult horoscopes, tarot cards, or lucky tokens. Musashi's lesson cuts through this, meaning stop attributing your fate to external forces and trust diligent work and clear judgment. By owning your choices, read this again. By owning your choices and sharpening your talents, you become the architect of your destiny. And I think that's really, really interesting. You know, I've always really enjoyed anime, right? I'm also going to turn this light on. I feel like I'm really dark for y'all. Hold on. Sparking. Yeah, 'cause I feel like I'm really dark for y'all, so it's probably fine, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. So, you know, I grew up watching anime and I grew up telling stories and stuff. Excuse me. And one of the things that has been a constant in both of those departments is the battle between, is this fate, is this destiny, and can you pick your own fate? Do you get to make your own destiny and stuff? Prime example would be, well, prime example that everyone would probably know, even if you're like a baby anime watcher, is if you saw the original Naruto, there was an entire arc about that. I believe that also happened. That was also like happening in the tuning exams, like when it came to Neji and Hinata, and you know, and Naruto's fighting Neji, and Neji's like, no, like this is destiny, like this is what's going to happen, like this is the fate, this is how the world fucking works. And Naruto is just kind of like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing, you know, to like use Spider-Verse terms. Speaking of Spider-Verse, we can talk about it in terms of Spider-Verse as well. It's like, hey, these are canon events. These are things that have to happen. This is the web that you are fated to be in, that you are fated to go through. And constantly breaking this mold and choosing your own destiny takes such a high amount of self-belief and self-confidence that I think we can all aspire to do, to become, to be, you know, like just that as a concept, to say, I don't know what my fate is, you're telling me what my fate is, but that doesn't sound like something that God would have for me. You know, that doesn't sound like something that I want to subscribe to, something I want to believe in, and I'm not going to listen to that. Hell, fucking what? Minority Report? Obviously, I'm a cinephile, so like I'm just rattling off stuff, but if I think it's Minority Report, right? Minority Report has the cogs, right? The cogs, they're in the water, they tell you your fate and shit like that, and yet the whole film is still about, you know, like getting away from your fate. Blade Runner 2049, like, oh, there's a baby that was made like by replicants, like this is fate, and then you go through the whole film thinking, holy shit, this is the baby, and then you're not. It wasn't your destiny. And he was fucking devastated. And I think sorry man, I'm like still having anxiety coughs. There's like nothing wrong at all, no fever, no nothing. I think I've been having so much anxiety and stress that I've developed an anxiety cough. But I digress, because I went on a bit of a tangent, so I digress. I think this war of attrition between time and what I want, and the war of attrition between fate and what I believe is my destiny, are one and the same. And the only way to truly combat both of these things is for me to be in the present moment and not revert to my primal desires. And by primal desires, I don't just mean like lustful desires or anything like that. No, my primal desires are solitude. It's retreating, you know. It's saying, oh, this is uncomfortable, I'm retreating so I don't have to like be a part of this and deal with this. And you know, today really sucks, but tomorrow will be better. And I'm guilty of saying that all the time, and I still say tomorrow will be better. Like when I say that, it's a bit of a hopeful thing. It's intended to be a bit of a hopeful thing, where it's like, all right, today was really bad, but tomorrow will be better. But I'm trying to not be in the future. I'm trying not to think that everything's going to be great in the future. Instead, I'm going to try to make everything great in the present. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like my job, right? I work a corporate job, it pays the bills, whatever. If I had to do anything other than like writing and like filmmaking, I'd shoot myself, right? Like the old like Nietzsche saying, like, writers don't choose to be writers. Like, they're writers because if they had to do anything else, they would kill themselves. That's kind of like how I feel. That's how I've always felt. And so it's one of those very interesting things where what I need to do is change my present, not waiting for the future for things to change, because the future isn't gonna fucking change if my present does not change. You know, like, I don't want to have an anxious attachment style. Okay, well, in the present, who are you right now? If you asked me that yesterday, I'm insecure, I'm anxious, I'm sad, I'm alone. You asked me today, because I just finished meditating on the same thing. You asked me today, I might not be fully certain of who I am today, but I'm not as insecure as I was yesterday. I'm not as sad as I was yesterday. You know, I sat down and did this deep meditation, and it was like, okay, how am I feeling? I'm anxious. Okay, under that, like, why are you anxious? Well, because I'm insecure. Well, why are you insecure? Why am I insecure? Because XYZ is happening. It's like, okay, but how do you feel about XYZ happening? I feel sad. It's like, okay, what's deeper than that sadness? And you keep going down the well. You know, you keep going down the well, and eventually, I want to say like 2 more levels deeper, it was like, what do you feel under that? Love. It's like, oh, so is there anything under that? And it's like, I don't feel anything under that, but maybe. It's like, well, is there not anything underneath the feeling of love that you have? It's like, I don't think there's anything under that. I think that at my lowest point, I feel love. It's like, okay, so your feeling of love, the feeling of love that you are, love that you embody, all these things, your feeling of love is completely overshadowed by fear, anxiety, sadness, insecurity, and anger. All of these things are preventing you from expressing yourself the way that you want to express yourself. Like, oh shit, I said the wrong thing. Or, oh shit, I didn't formulate my words properly here and now it's gonna go sideways and all that shit. You don't say anything out of malicious intent and you try to do everything out of kindness, correct? And I'm like, yeah, I don't do anything like expecting, something negative. I don't do anything expecting something positive. I try to be kind. I do my best to be kind in all forms and show love, unconditionally. I was like, okay, but you've been having a hard time doing that recently, right? It's like, yeah, maybe it's because all of the love that you have has been overshadowed by all these other emotions. You have to let that shit go. And so that's what I've been working on today, was letting it go and understanding like what my strengths are and what my shortcomings are. Like my shortcomings are mostly connections based. Like, I'm not great with humans. I'm decent, but I grew up in rough, turbulent times. I grew up not having that many friends. I moved all the time. People came and gone. Like, I came and gone. My relationships with people are not as great as they could be, or they're not as great as, as some people. Like, the people that are closest to me in my life, my sister, my best friend, the people I'm in love with, the people I'm in love with, the person I'm in love with, shit like that. Like, they know me so well, and they know that I need like solitude and shit like that, whether I like want to admit it or not sometimes. And we'll go 6 months without saying a word to each other. We'll go 2 years without saying anything to each other, and I won't feel a type of way about it. But if I go a week without saying something to someone that isn't as close to me as that, then I'm like, ah, shit, let me check in, let me do this, let me do that. And that's kind of exhausting for me. Like it's pretty exhausting for me to do that. Which is probably why I have no intention of like meeting new people. But I digress. Like, I understand what my shortcomings are. Like, I understand where my jealousy comes from. I understand now, let me clarify. I understand now where my jealousy comes from. I understand now where my self-sabotage is coming from. I understand now why I feel like I'm such a bad person. And it all came back to, well, I was feeling like I was a good person, like I was the best version of myself. And then I was told, no, you're a really shitty person. And that shit affected me to my core. Like, that breaks you. You think that you're doing your best. You fully believe, like, I'm doing my best. Like, I'm good. I feel good. I feel healthy. I feel strong. I feel mentally aware, and not just aware of my faults, aware of my wins and of my talents as well. Which is a hard thing to do. And then someone that you truly like love and care about and like deeply want a relationship with, because they're your parental figure, comes down and says, no, all of this shit that you're proud of, fuck no, that's not who you are. You're gonna be like this. You should be like this. This is who I raised you to be. And that was so crippling that I didn't fucking realize it for so long. for 5 years. For 5 years, didn't fucking realize it, and it absolutely caused a strain on like every relationship. Like I was thoroughly in love with my girlfriend at the time, during the time, and like when all that stuff has happened, thoroughly in love, wanted to get married, all that shit, right? The same person that talked down upon me is the same person that said she's never gonna marry you. Like, you really think that she's gonna marry? Those are direct quotes, by the way. It was like, because I remember it distinctly, but it was like, you really think that she's gonna marry you? I'm like, fuck, you know, like what the fuck? Like, yeah, I would fucking hope so. I would hope so. Like after 3 years, and you know, like the trials and tribulations that we have had and stuff like that, I would hope that she would. Ultimately, I'm single, like, and this has been years ago and stuff like that, whatever. And I'm letting it go. I'm letting it all go. It's like, I think I'm in free fall. That like I'm clearing rubble like off of me, but like maybe I'm like free falling now. You know? No, that doesn't work. I think emotionally I'm in free fall, but like physically, like in my head, like in terms of my metamorphosis, I'm like clearing rubble off of myself now that I've shattered through the labyrinth's wall, and I'm waiting to like see the sun. But I'm focused right now. I'm really focused on clearing out this rubble. I'm really focused that when I do emerge, I want to not be in the past. I want to not be in the future. I want to be able to be present and be who I am today on that day. You know, I think that's an important thing and a very powerful thing. And that's my goal right now. So I know what my shortcomings are. You know, I know that I fall victim to my thoughts. I know that I can fall victim to heavy emotions. I know I can fall victim to anxieties and fear, which also are heavy emotions. I don't know why I said that, but I know I fall victim and fall short. Like, I have shortcomings. I understand these things. I know that I fall short in places and areas that I wish that I never fell short in. But I can embrace my talents. I am a phenomenal fucking writer. I know that. I know I'm extremely talented and gifted in this department. But because of my shortcomings of anxiety, of looking too far in the future, of thinking, you're fucking 27, dog. Maybe you should listen to the people that been telling you your entire life that this isn't gonna work because you're 27 now. But like, I don't want to do that. You know, I want to try. I want to give it effort. I've never been a person that has given up on something. Never. People have given up on me my entire life. I've never given up on someone else. And while I have unfortunately abandoned myself quite a few times, I'm learning to not give up on myself. Genuinely, I'm learning to not give up on myself. So with that, as I clear this rubble and everything, I'm learning to believe in myself. And I think I do. I think I believe that especially now, like after the shattering, after leaving that fucking Olive Garden finally, I think I'm at a place now where I can believe in myself. I'm in a place now where I don't have to worry about what time wants for me. I'm at a place now where I'm like, you know, fate could have whatever fate has in store, and that doesn't matter, because if I put in the effort, shit like that, I'll make my own fate. Like, I don't just apologize and not change. I apologize and make the effort to change. It won't happen overnight, and I don't expect things to happen overnight. I'm not expecting to change overnight. Like, damn, I really did this really fucked up thing to this person that I have this relationship with, and I made them feel X, Y, Z, and now they don't trust me and shit like that. And it's like, all right, I said I was sorry. Obviously, that's just going to be empty words and empty promises right now, because they are just words and promises without actual action. And now it's, okay, I said I'm sorry. I can't spend the next 4 years of my life apologizing for it, but I can show you that I have been changing. I can show you that I have been putting in the work. I can show you that I've been going through this Dakota. I've been documenting it for my own sake and stuff like that. I can show you that I've been keeping my mental health journal. I can show you that when I get an itch or when that little voice starts talking to me, I take a step back. I've learned to take a step back and say, hey, hold on. This conversation is really important. However, I'm currently feeling like I'm currently hearing the little voice talk to me. I'm currently feeling anxious. I'm currently feeling, whatever. Can you give me a few minutes to settle down and then we continue this conversation? Which before is a terrifying sentence to have, because I will immediately think, oh, okay, if I say that, then they're going to say, fuck no, we're going to have this conversation right fucking now. Because if we don't have this conversation right now, like, you're being avoidant, you're just backing up, you're just like all these negative things. And it's like, no, I want to have the conversation. I just want to be in a clear mind state in order to have that conversation, because I want this to work. I'm not scared of what someone's going to say if I have to like frame a conversation like that, or if I have to take a pause in the conversation. I'm not afraid of what they have to say about it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm like, hey, look, right now I'm hearing like that little voice in the back of my head telling me a bunch of heinous things. And I really want to be able to be present with you and be here in the moment. Can you give me 5 minutes to just push that out of my brain so I can be here with you and we can fix this together? And the thought of that isn't scary anymore. Which is kind of exciting, like, I think I get what Oscar Wilde was talking about now. And I think it's Oscar Wilde. I hope I'm not like misquoting someone, but like, I think I understand what Oscar Wilde was talking about, where it was like, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, or like, I don't know, what I'm going to do today even. And the response being, how exciting. I think I'm reaching that point where I have no idea how today is going to go. I have no idea how tomorrow's going to go. I have no idea anything. But more importantly, I have no idea how today's going to go. And I think that's very exciting. This might be a day where I just really feel like singing. This might be a day where I really feel like being quiet. This might be a day where I do nothing but nonstop writing. This might be a day where I do my voice recordings and stuff and start putting out like little cinematic short films that I've had in the fucking vault for a fucking year. Like, this might be the day that I do those things. This might be the day that I reclaim my life. And what could be more exciting than that? What could be more exciting than that possibility? This might be the day that someone falls in love with me again. This might be the day that I fall in love with myself. How fucking exciting is that? So, yeah, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, not in superstitions. I'll read this part again because I do think that it's kind of important and I kind of like it. Stop attributing your fate to external forces and trust diligent work and clear judgment. By owning your choices and sharpening your talents, you become the architect of your destiny. Nobody but God gets to tell me what my destiny is, and that includes myself. That includes myself. Sometimes things happen and then you're like, I'm gonna die alone. It's not necessarily true, and it doesn't have to be. It's just a feeling, and feelings will pass. So let them pass. I'm gonna leave y'all with one thing. It's that clock in the word. I'm gonna leave this with one final thing, one final anecdote, because it helped me, and I realized that it's something that I was struggling with yesterday and for the last 5 years. So there's an old Buddhist tale, and the way it goes, I'll give you the short version. Here's the spark notes. There's a master and an apprentice monk. They take a vow that they will never touch a woman. For their entire lives, they will never touch a woman. No matter what the circumstances is, if it's a woman, not touching them. Never gonna do it. Then they travel their mountain path every day. They do it for years, whatever. They stick to their oath, their vow. And then one day a woman needs help across the river. And the master walks over without a second thought. He picks her up, carries her across the river, puts her down, and continues along the path. And of course, excuse me, and of course, the apprentice is like distraught. He's like, yo, what the fuck? Like, whatever. But he doesn't say anything, right? Time goes on, time passes, okay? The apprentice then finally boils over, and he's like, master, I can't do this anymore. We took a vow and you broke our vow. We said we would never touch a woman for all of our days, but you picked that woman up and carried her across the river. You broke the vow. And obviously, the apprentice is talking out of anger. And the interesting thing about this is what the master says next. Because the master says, I put that woman down 3 hours ago. You are the one that has been carrying her. And I think that really is the antithesis of how I've been feeling the last 5 years. Like with this Olive Garden. Like I thought that I had put it down. I didn't put it down until yesterday. I didn't. I've been carrying it, and I'm done carrying it. So this has been our lesson of the day. Our lesson. This has been the day 15. This is the principle. Believing in yourself, not in superstition. Believe in your hard work, your effort, and that will shape your destiny. You don't fall to your dreams, you fall to your systems, I think is the quote, or something like that, where it's kind of like, if you don't put in the work and stuff like that, like you only can be as good as your systems were built. Excuse me. Or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up to tell you the exact quote, because I'm just kind of paraphrasing and spitballing like the things that kind of come to my brain while I do these things. But yeah, that's kind of it. So just believe in yourself, do everything to the best of your ability. The thing that we're currently learning is how to como se dice, we're learning right now how to be present, not just live in the present, but be present. Not worried about the future, not worried about the past. We're letting go of the past, we're letting go of the assumptions about the future, and we're being here in the present. We're making actionable change today. Every day that God wakes us up in the morning, we make actual change to be the person that we want to be in the future. That's the most looking into the future that I'm doing now. I'm done. I'm not in the labyrinth anymore. I'm still like in the rubble, but I've been under rubble before. Those walls I broke down, those same walls that I built to protect me, the ones made of fear, the ones made of silence, all that shit, those walls are destroyed. The next thing that I had to break through was the labyrinth, which is my brain, right? Now I'm out. I'm in the rubble, but I'm out. I haven't reached the sun yet, but I'm climbing out. I'm clearing off the rubble. I feel like if I am the caterpillar in this metamorphosis analogy, if I am the caterpillar, at this point, I've started to break the cocoon. Like, I've broken through. Maybe there's some light, and now I'm moving the shell out of the way. I think that's the point that I'm at now, is I'm moving the shell out of the way. And I think that is the best analogy for it. The one that's more personal for me is, you know, the labyrinth, and I'm busted through the wall, and like that's important for me. That is probably the most accurate version for myself. But for, you know, anybody ever watching and shit like that, I think the best analogy is I've been in a cocoon the last few days. I've probably been in that cocoon for most of this journey. We're 15 days in, which means we've been doing this for 2 weeks. Which is crazy to think about. I've been going through this metamorphosis and shit like that for 2 weeks already. And so I really hope that I really do come out as the beautiful butterfly. I really hope that I do come out of this as a better version of myself. Like, I'm not gonna make the same mistakes. I'm not gonna make the same I'm not gonna have the same flaws. Or even if I do, I'm still actively working on those flaws. You know, I'm getting better at accepting. I'm getting better at being in the present. I'm getting better at letting go. Because the hard thing about letting go is when you don't want to let go. You know, it's the anxiety. That's the hard part. It's like, oh, but if I let go, they'll leave my life. But if I let go, I may never have this again. Like, that's not what letting go is for. You can't let go when it's shrouded in existential and anxiety. You can't let go when it's shrouded within existential anxiety. There's a million what ifs for the future, just like there's a million what ifs for the past, and there's a million what ifs for the present. I'd rather deal with the million what ifs here in the present. I've lived in the future, lived in the past. I haven't tried to live in the present, and I'm going to try that now. Genuinely, I'm trying to live in the present now, moment to moment, day by day, idea by idea, and I'm working on being mindful, you know, taking steps back. Maybe I choose my words a bit more carefully, but not so carefully that I just revert to being silent all the time, even though I'm perfectly fine being silent. Like, I'm chilling, like, whatever. But for the sake of conversations and stuff like that, like, yeah, I want to be so sure of myself that I don't even question if my words are going to be taken the wrong way. You know, I've been misunderstood my entire life, and my quest for being understood is one of the things that put me in a state of mental slavery. So, yeah. When I started this journey, I was out with lanterns looking for myself. I found a tunnel. Well, I found the walls that prevented me from going deeper, that prevented me from, you know, from really getting into the meat and potatoes of what's going on in my life. I broke those walls. I didn't just walk through them and leave them standing. I dismantled and broke those walls. I got to the tunnel. I got to the cocoon. I reached that breaking point. I got to the labyrinth. I reached that breaking point. I've shattered through that breaking point. Now I clear the rubble and I try to emerge, and hopefully I emerge better. And by better, I mean kinder, more resourceful, more resilient, more loving. Not necessarily fearless, because I don't think my fears are going to go away, but being more mindful so that being more mindful and so mentally strong that even when fear shows up, I know that I can handle it properly, kind of thing. Those are my hopes for when I clear out this rubble and I get to take that first breath into my new life, into my new self, into my new body. So yeah, those are the hopes, those are the wishes, those are the dreams, and this has been day 15. See you tomorrow.